The lady, is Marie-Claude Cleary,
Okay.
and the man is Marianne Malassa.
And they are the consuls that represent France in Martinique, and
Yeah.
most of the funding for the tourism comes from that consul.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Just wanted to make sure we had that right.
Yes.
And they said something about that they were going to increase the promotional budget
Yes.
this year. Is that true?
Yes, 30%
Okay.
on the American market, the North American market, because we focus, because as a French department, most of our tourists come from France metropolitan, and want to diversify the origin of the tourists, and want to focus on the North American markets, and that's the reason why since 2 years ago, we had direct flight coming from San Juan with American Eagle, American Airlines, because there was a few years ago we didn't have any airlines coming directly from the U.S. market, from the U.S. market to Martinique, and we now have a direct flight, the daily flights with American Eagle from San Juan, and now we have the Delta flight coming each Saturday from Atlanta.
And the Delta flight is weekly, right?
Yes, it's weekly.
Okay. And how does the Delta flight and last year when it started in December to this year, how did you see it help Martinique tourism?
It helps a lot because we have. I think that it's not only the Delta flights, but I think that the both flight we have, because we have an increase of the tourists, U.S. tourists, increase of 30% last year, and this year we have 60%.
Wow.
So it's important, and I think that if we can develop the market, Atlanta markets particularly, I think it will help a lot.
Do you have a lot of people that come from other cities in America and go to Atlanta and then fly to Martinique?
Yes, yes, they do.
How far does that reach? Do you know? Do you know if people come from Alaska or California?
California, we have Los Angeles, yes, and also Dallas, and we also have the Canadian markets from Toronto,
and you have an office.
Vancouver. We have an office in Montreal.
Yeah.
But we also have people coming from the Canadian market from Toronto and Vancouver too, using the Delta flights.
I guess they find that easy. And I guess that's probably why Atlanta was chosen, just because it's close. You know, it has the connectivity to the other regions in America and in Canada.
Yes,
so.
Exactly.
How did you have to come to Atlanta from Martinique this time? Since the flight's starting tomorrow, how did you fly?
Yes, we take a flight from Martinique to go to Santo Domingo, and from Santo Domingo we take the Delta flight coming.
The direct flight. So you stayed on Delta.
Yes, we stayed on Delta.
Because I thought maybe you would go to San Juan, use the American flight. Have you done that before?
But we have 2 overnight in New York.
Oh, really?
When you come with the American Airlines flights.
So how does that? How much longer does it take you if you have to stop and change planes? What's the flight like from the direct flight like?
I think that we could spend at least half a day more, because we leave Martinique on the American Eagle flight on the afternoon. You arrive in San Juan at the end of the afternoon. You have to connect then to New York, and then from New York you have to overnight in New York and take the flight the day after to come here.
Wow.
Yes.
So if you wanted to go to New York, that would be a good thing to do.
Yes,
but,
exactly.
But not
exactly.
if you want to come
not
straight
if you
here.
want to come here. Yeah. It was easier for us to go through Santo Domingo.
All right. How long does it take if it's just a nonstop flight from Martinique to Atlanta?
4 hours and a half.
Just 4.5 hours. That's amazing.
Yes, it's quite amazing.
Are you from Martinique originally?
I am from Martinique.
We actually just didn't even introduce you. Can you tell us your name and what your position is?
Okay, my name is Georgie Vernes, and I work in the main office, head office in Martinique of the Tourism Authority, and I am executive director in the marketing department, in charge especially of the North American market.
Wow.
So I work with the US market and the Canadian market.
And Can you tell us a little bit about your clothing? Is that traditional Martinique
Yes,
clothing? Or?
it is not a it's a modern way of because the traditional dress is the red one that my colleague had,
All right, right.
and this one is because the fashion has changed a lot, and people don't wear that kind of dress nowadays, you know, because we dress like in France, very modern fashion, and this one is shows the evolution of our traditional costume. It's what we call a queer costume, queer dress.
Wow. It's very beautiful. Okay.
Thank you.
And we've heard a lot about the natural disasters that have occurred lately, the hurricane and then now the earthquake. How is Martinique faring with that? How's the tourism doing in light of that?
I can say that we were lucky, both with the hurricane and with the earthquake, because the hurricane we just had the second degree of the hurricane, because when he continued, he became
got less intense.
Yes, intense. Yes, exactly. So we had some. We don't have so much damage after the and the earthquake also, because the earthquake we had 7. I think that it was 7 and yes, 7.8 or something like that. It's quite high, but we did not have a lot of damage at all.
So none of the hoteliers.
Just fear, that's all.
Just fear?
Yes.
So you have to overcome that, I guess, when you come here. Have you been to Atlanta before?
It's my second.
Okay.
I was here for last year for the same event.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. And so do people wonder about hurricanes and things like that here?
Not at all.
They don't?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Not at all.
And all the hoteliers that are here, none of their industries, none of their facilities were affected, do you think?
No, not at all.
That's interesting.
Yes.
We did a video interview with Valerie Ulrich
Yes.
a little while ago, our publisher did, and she mentioned that through the cultural ties, a lot of Martinicans study in France and in Europe. Do you think that opening flights like this to North America can sort of increase the exchange between Martinique and North America?
Sure, I think so. I think so because now young people in Martinique are very fond of something new and different way of living, way of studying. And many of them are already going to, for example, to Montreal to study. And I think that that kind of, the flight, for example, is a good thing for the students, the Martinican students who want to share their experience in a North company, the US company, for example. And it could help, I think so, yes.
Do you think if business people come to travel and have fun, are there other industries that they might see there and think, wow, I want to start doing business with Martinique as well? What are the other industries that are kind of prevalent on the island in addition to tourism?
In addition to tourism?
Yeah.
I think that in terms of language exchange, for example, because we also have some English teachers that come to Martinique to learn French, to study French, for example. We already have that kind of, for French lessons, they come to Martinique very often to our university. It could also increase. And, but, you know, Martinique is, we don't really have a lot of industry. You know, we just have bananas, sugarcane, and so on, and tourism. Yeah. So it's our main industry is tourism.
And rum.
You know, and rum.
The rum distilleries.
Yes, but we already have the rum here. A few years ago, we did not have any of rum entering the U.S. market. Right. And now we have the Nissan here, and we also have the Clement in New York.